Hi everybody! Today we're going to be talking about one of the beasts of the German language, and that is adjective endings. Today's topic is actually relatively easy, but it does come with a grammar review of all of the cases that we've learned so far, so that you can hopefully do a little bit better once we get to the ein word endings and the non-preceded adjective endings. So, if you haven't seen the German with Puppets video, there's a link up there at the top, and in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get started. First things first, we need to know what are the der words in the nominative case in order to find out what precedes these things. These are adjectives after der words, which means that they have to be after a word that resembles der, whether that be der, die, das, dem, den, and all of that, or if it is dieser, jeder, mancher, solcher, and so on. First off, we have der, die, das, and die for the nominative case. And in the endings for all of these adjectives, we have in the singular forms e's all around, so e after der, die, or das. But if the noun is plural, then you have die in front of the adjective and then en at the end of the adjective. This could be something like der große Mann ist groß, the large man is large, or die schnelle Frau ist schnell. The fast woman is fast. Das kleine Kind ist klein. The small child is small. Or die kleinen Kinder sind klein. The small children are small. All of them are in the nominative case. All of them take e's except for the plural, and that one takes an en. In the accusative case, the der words become den, die, das, die, and as you would expect, since the only thing that changed is the masculine accusative, we have en for the masculine accusative, and all of the other ones stay the same, e's and ens. So you can have sentences like, Ich mag den schönen Mann. I like the beautiful man. Ich mag die schöne Frau. I like the beautiful woman. Ich mag das kleine Kind. I like the small child. Ich mag die kleinen Kinder. I like the small children. Again, we have two forms that take e's and two of them that take ens. After that, in the dative case, we have dem, der, dem, and den, and this is where it gets a little bit easier, and that is that all adjective endings in the dative case after der words are all en, every single one of them. So you can have sentences like, Ich gebe dem schnellen Mann ein Geschenk. I give the fast man a gift. Ich gebe der schönen Frau ein Geschenk. I give the beautiful woman a gift. Ich gebe dem kleinen Kind ein Geschenk. I give the small child a gift. Ich gebe den kleinen Kindern ein Geschenk. I give the small children a gift. In the genitive case, we have des, der for your der words. And of course, all of these endings on the adjectives again take ens for all of the genitive ones after der words. So you could have phrases like das Hemd des schönen Mannes, the shirt of the beautiful man. Das Kleid der schönen Frau, the dress of the beautiful woman. Das T-shirt des kleinen Kindes, the T-shirt of the small child. And of course, in the plural form, die Kleider der schönen Kindern, the clothing of the beautiful children. I like to always highlight the things that are different, and that is here and here for the e's. So we have a nice little Oklahoma looking thing over here, so all of those take the e's. We have singular and the nominative case, those all take e's, and most of them in the accusative case will also take e's, the only exception being, of course, the exception that it was in the der words, and that is masculine accusative. I would be remiss if I didn't have a review of the cases and when to use each case in a video about adjective endings. So first off, the nominative case. You use this with the subject, which is the thing doing the action of a sentence, so the one doing something, the one kicking or throwing or biting or whatever it is that they're doing, that is going to be the subject of the sentence. This is also used with something that I call a predicate nominative. A predicate nominative is whenever you have something that the subject and the object are essentially the same thing. This is usually used with forms of of sein or forms of being in English, and it also can be used with forms of werden, like ich werde ein Schmetterling. Ich and ein Schmetterling are both the subject or both nominative case because they are the same thing. So if you can put an equal sign in the sentence and the subject and the thing after the verb are the same, then it makes sense that it's probably going to be a predicate nominative. They're called that because they're in the predicate part of the sentence, as in after the verb, and they're still in the nominative case. In the accusative case, we have direct objects, so things being verbed, things receiving the action of the verb, that is, things that are being kicked or bought or thrown or whatever it is that they're being done. It's that accusative thing, that's the direct object. Also, you have für, durch, ohne, and gegen. Those are the prepositions that my textbook talks about for the accusative prepositions. There's also bis and entlang, but that one doesn't show up in our textbook, and so I ignore those for the purposes of these videos. You also have definite points in time, and by that I mean like every morning, jeden Morgen. That would be the accusative case, and you would use this for every morning and stuff like that, but it does get a little fuzzy once you get to things that are kind of subjective points in time, so things like one day, that's actually going to be using the genitive case. The dative case is used with indirect object, or who or what is receiving the direct object. In other words, if I buy something, the something I buy is the direct object. If I buy someone something, the someone is the thing that's receiving the direct object, and therefore is the dative case, the indirect object. There are also, of course, dative verbs, things like gefallen, helfen, danken, passen, stehen, and glauben. Those verbs are also going to take dative objects because they're just dative verbs and they're just kind of weird. Then you have the objects of dative prepositions, so these dative prepositions of außer, bei, mit, nach, seit, von, zu. Those dative prepositions, those would be the ones that you need there. There's also the preposition of gegenüber, but that one again is not in our textbook, and therefore I ignore it. The genitive case is used to show possession, so whatever is after the noun being possessed, that is going to be the genitive case. So die Farbe des Hemdes, the color of the shirt. Des Hemdes, because the shirt is the one that possesses the color, and therefore that is the genitive case. You also have objects of genitive prepositions, so things like anstatt, trotz, während, and wegen. There are a few others, but those are the main ones. There are also some genitive verbs, but the chances of you encountering those, especially at the low level that we are doing here in this particular video, are pretty slim. So you're probably not going to find a genitive verb anytime soon in your German learning. It's usually a little bit more of an esoteric kind of thing. If you don't know what esoteric is, Google it. Now let's get into some examples here. I color-coded the der word so that you can follow along with the chart. This way you can at least figure out what the gender of the noun is based on the color of the der word that I put in front. So first off, we have Restaurants sind nicht immer teuer. Without actually having the der word or the adjective in front of it, it actually still makes perfect sense as a sentence. It means restaurants are not always expensive, but we want to say the good restaurants are not always expensive. This is actually in the nominative case, and therefore plural nominative we would use die. Die gut, and we need an ending here for the plural. All of the plural ones, every single time after a der word, they're going to be en for the adjective ending. So we have die guten Restaurants sind nicht immer teuer. The good restaurants are not always expensive. Nummer 2. Verkäuferin ist an der Kasse. The salesperson is at the register. This one we have a feminine one, so we have to have here in the nominative case feminine die. Since it's a singular noun, we have to use the singular feminine ending after a der word in the nominative case, which would be I. Die junge Verkäuferin ist an der Kasse. The young salesperson is at the cash register. Nummer 3. Anstatt is a genitive preposition. You can stop reading the sentence right there and figure out what we need to do with the der word and the adjective ending. Frage is a feminine noun, so we have to have here the feminine genitive, which is der. Because it's genitive and all genitive adjective endings after der words are en, we just put an en in this sentence. So it becomes, anstatt der dummen Frage stellte eine gute Frage. Instead of the dumb question, he asked a good question. Nummer 4. Here we have another preposition. This one is aus. Aus is a dative preposition, which means that we have to have the dative case here. Statt is a feminine noun, so we use the er for the dative feminine on welcher. Groß has to have an en at the end of it because all of the dative ones after der words are going to be en. Aus welcher großen Stadt kommen Sie? Out of which large city do they come? Das ist das Auto. That is the car. Perfectly fine sentence without that, but we have the nice lady at the end of it, so we have here a genitive thing. Genitive feminine would be der. Now all of the genitive ones after der words have to have en at the end of the adjective, so we have das ist das Auto der netten Frau. This is the car of the nice lady. Der Schüler gibt. The student gives. Now we have to ask what is being given and to whom is it being given. What is being given in this sentence is the small helicopter, probably a toy helicopter. That one has to be a masculine noun in the accusative case. Musiklehrer is a masculine noun in the dative case because that's the one that is receiving the Hubschrauber. So we have the first one here as the dative case for the masculine, that would be dem. And since it's masculine and dative and after a der word, we have to have en for the adjective ending. Dem neuen Musiklehrer. And then we have to have the accusative case for the small helicopter. Den, because it's accusative masculine, and accusative masculine after a der word, the adjective becomes kleinen. So the whole sentence ends up being, der Schüler gibt dem neuen Musiklehrer den kleinen Hubschrauber. Nummer 7. Die Tante gibt jed blank blank Mädchen ein Geschenk. Again, we have to figure out what is being given and to whom is it being given. Ein Geschenk is a gift, which is what's being given. The to whom is the Mädchen. Mädchen is one of those nouns that could be singular or plural, but since we're using the word jed, we know that it's every girl, as opposed to every girls, because that doesn't really make much sense. So here we have to have the neuter and the dative case, jedem. And since it's neuter and dative and after a der word, we have en at the end of the adjective. Die Tante gibt jedem kleinen Mädchen ein Geschenk. The aunt gives every small girl a gift. Nummer 8. Sieht jed blank blank Film. Film is a masculine noun. It's the accusative case because it's the thing being seen in this sentence. So we have a masculine ending en for the accusative case and en for the adjective as well. Sieht jeden deutschen Film. He watches every German film. Filme in the next one is actually plural, so we have to have plural accusative. It's the same sentence, but in the past tense. Habt ihr diese deutschen Filme gesehen? All of the plural ones after der words have en for their adjective ending. Habt ihr diese deutschen Filme gesehen? Have you seen these German films? Nummer 10. Ich spreche mit. Mit is a dative preposition, so whatever comes after it is automatically dative. Österreicher is a masculine Austrian, and therefore we have here the masculine dative, dem. Nett needs an adjective ending to go with the dative case after a der word, which is always en. Ich spreche mit dem neuen Österreich. Ich spreche mit dem netten Österreicher. I am speaking with the nice Austrian. Ich musste durch. Durch is an accusative preposition, so we have to use here the accusative feminine for wäsche, which would be die. Since it's feminine and accusative and after a der word, we add e to the end of schmutzig to make it schmutziger. Ich musste durch die schmutzige Wäsche schwimmen. I had to swim through the dirty laundry. It's a metaphor. Nummer 12. Kaufst du blank blank Gitarre? Gitarre is a feminine noun. In the accusative case here, we have to have e's all around. E on the end of dies and e at the end of teuer. So we have, kaufst du diese teure Gitarre? Are you buying this expensive guitar? Nummer 13. Mein Vater kauft Malerfarbe für blank blank Trabi. My father is buying paints for the old Trabant. Here we have a masculine noun because Trabi is a masculine noun, so we use masculine accusative because it's after für, and we use den. Because it's accusative masculine, we use en at the end of the adjective. Mein Vater kauft Malerfarbe für den alten Trabi. Nummer 14. Dative preposition at the beginning, so we have nach, which means that we have to use the dative case. Dative masculine for film would be dem, and we add an en because all of the dative ones after der words have to have en. So it becomes, nach dem schlechten Film gehen wir ins Kino. After the bad film, we went to the movie theater. Seems kinda odd that you would go to the movie theater after watching a bad film, but apparently that's what these people did. So they watched a movie at home, and then they went to the theater. Weird. Nummer 15. Trotz. Trotz is a genitive preposition, which means that we have to use the genitive. That's also indicated by the S at the end of Wetter. Because there's an S at the end of Wetter, you know that it's either a masculine or a neuter noun. It doesn't really make any difference which one it is, but in this case, it's neuter. So we have dieses schlechten Wetters. Trotz dieses schlechten Wetters fahren wir in die Ferien. In spite of this bad weather, we are going on vacation. Während. Während is also a genitive preposition, which means that we have to use here the genitive case again. Tage is plural, so we use the plural genitive der schlechten Tage. Während der schlechten Tage spielen wir nicht. During the bad days, we are not playing. Nummer 17. Yet another genitive preposition, wegen, so we use the genitive case after this again. Photos could be plural, but it could also be that it's the genitive neuter, and so we have das Foto, making it des Fotos in the genitive case. I chose to use this as the singular form, des schlechten Fotos. Wegen des schlechten Fotos kommt der Junge am Montag nicht in die Schule. Because of the bad photo, the boy is not coming to school on Monday. Nummer 18. Fahrrad is a neuter noun. It's also the subject of this sentence because gefallen uses that backwards word order where it says, which red bicycle is pleasing to you? So we use here, welches rote Fahrrad? Welches rote Fahrrad gefällt dir? Which red bicycle is pleasing to you? Or which red bicycle do you like? Wir besuchen euch während. Während again is the genitive case. Sommers indicates that it's genitive as well. Also, Sommer is a masculine noun, so we use here the masculine genitive des schönen Sommers. Wir besuchen euch während des schönen Sommers. Nummer 20. Wir fahren ohne. Ohne is an accusative preposition, so we use here the accusative neuter das große Zelt ab. Wir fahren ohne das große Zelt ab. And the last two. Wir wohnen bei. Bei is a dative preposition, so we use here the dative plural, den netten Verwandten. Wir wohnen bei den netten Verwandten. Nummer 22. Wo ist blank blank Schule? This one's nominative case and is a masculine noun since Schule is a masculine noun, so we say, wo ist der neue Schüler? Where is the new student? That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, give it a Daumen hoch, and if you want to see more videos from me, click on some of those buttons up there. Thanks for watching. Bye now.